I'm really interested to see whether a large screen e-paper display here on the desk can really do wonders for productivity at home, which does have the fear of rain. I will say that somebody has already taken this and reviewed it, so this is not the kind of unboxing experience that you'd expect. This is the Bigme 251. It's a new product. It's just come out of its Kickstarter campaign, and this is the first batch that is shipping now, but is now on the Bigme website. And I don't know whether I'll get to keep this or not, or if actually there's no signal yet, maybe sent back to them or to another reviewer. I actually can't believe it. Nothing else in the box. All of the cabling, everything else that should come with it, the stand. I mean, luckily it's VESA compatible, so I should be able to put this up somewhere, but I'm a little bit shocked. So it's the Bigme B251, and yes, it was the case that actually just the stand and all the cables were just in a separate box, so they came separately, so nothing to worry about there. And it is good, and I can tell you that if it looked as good as it does when you're in image mode, which is one of the 4 modes that you get the option of, I can tell you that if it looked that good all of the time, then it would be an instant recommend that you should all go out and get, because that is a beautiful e-ink screen and it looks absolutely wonderful. However, and it is a bit of a big however, and I am still getting used to it, and I think if you do decide to go with this, be very aware that you're going to need to spend some time getting used to it and going through and trying all the different modes and making sure there's a mode that works well for you. It really did take me some time to get my head around these settings, the different video modes that there are, and it was only when I turned on the desk lamp that I really thought, wow, this looks good. However, in this image mode, the mouse cursor, for instance, is absolutely unusable, and any kind of scrolling is a little bit painful. I like that they've included a remote control, but for some reason they haven't made one of the buttons on the remote to be a full screen refresh. That would have been really useful, because then you could have had this just sitting next to your mouse, and whenever you moved it around in this image mode, you could do a full screen refresh and get rid of that. There is a button for full screen refresh on the side of the monitor, but that's a bit of a reach forward to do that. What about the other modes then, and are they usable? Well, let's have a quick look at 1 or 2 of those, and I've been playing about a little bit with them. Let's say there are 4 modes. I can't really see much of a difference between web mode and video mode. Let's go across to web mode. Web mode and video mode will be the 2 modes that I'll be living in. And I think video mode is just that little bit faster, a little bit higher refresh rate. You can see now, I hope, on this camera that I've lost quite a lot of that crispness. And what I'm finding really odd about it is it doesn't seem to be as clear as the Kaleido free screens that I've been used to using so far, on Bigme and on books in fact. And I think what Bigme need to do is they need to make a driver, because I'm certain this isn't getting the best out of this technology at this point. I also thought to yourself, well, for a bit of text, maybe you might want to turn it onto grayscale, so you're just using the e-ink pixels. But you can see if I pan over here, I turn the whole computer into grayscale mode. For some reason, when the computer's in grayscale mode, the Bigme monitor doesn't go into grayscale mode. You can still see color down there on the icons, and it's still using the color filter. And it's the color filter really that's letting it down, unfortunately, because it's in the color areas that it's rendering really pixelated. It's got this funny kind of patina, and it's just not looking ideal. One of the worst cases is on any website or anything which is in kind of dark mode, and you can just see here in web mode, yeah, it's okay, doing a reasonable job actually there of just clearing up those black spaces. If I go to a website which is in light mode, you can see it's reasonable. And I have got a full testing video where I go through all of the screen modes in detail by joining the channel just below the like button. You see that's not too bad. Let's play this video. You can just see the color is just not something that you're going to be wanting to use. And I'll also say you can see the glare from my window there, but I can't see that from where I'm sitting, and it looks perfectly well controlled. But having a lot of natural light is certainly a benefit to this, just as in any reflective panel. And I'm going to put it into video mode just now. Image mode is an absolute mess for anything which is changing rapidly, but video mode is acceptable as well. And what you need to do is you need to change this dark point. And I think that's why it is worthwhile us having a remote, because changing the dark point essentially tells it how much of the actual e-ink capsules to use. And I've got it up here quite high. But its main use case is going to be for this. And if you're happy, if you're someone who's happy to be able to fire across screens like this, fire across windows, and work generally with the keyboard rather than the mouse to get around your document, then you will be quite happy here. And in one of the faster modes, but in the image mode, which would be delightful to look at, it is not fast enough at all. If you could type and it looked like this the entire time. And some of you might think, actually, no, at that type of refresh rate, that typing speed is acceptable, and then you maybe be happy with this thing. I will also say just about the front lights. Front lights are available here on the remote. I've got them pretty much almost off, although there's no battery to worry about here, of course. What is the case is that it's always better to be using light from the room reflecting off the panel, and you're going to get a better view of that e-ink panel than just relying on the front lights. In the testing footage that I've got, you can clearly see there is quite a lot of light bleed, so relying on just the front lights isn't as good as having something like this lamp that I've got, which can cast an even light across the screen. Or indeed, just working here in nice brightly lit conditions is acceptable as well. In fact, it's better than acceptable. It's quite good. I just have a little touch of the front light on, sort of a third, and then have an actual lamp lighting the screen directly. Luckily, I had that set up because of the RLCD panel already. But what is good, I could see you actually having a reference document up here, sort of full time, one that you weren't having to scroll and manipulate very much, but a document you're having to read from as you worked on something on the computer. So for instance, what I am having quite a lot is my PKM. Stop the video whilst it's in image mode there. Have the PKM up, it looks really good. I don't need to do much with it except for look at it, occasionally scroll, and that reading those notes is quite good. But you can just see moving around, it's like, gosh. So I wonder whether it is one for the aficionados like me for e-ink. You know, I really like e-ink and I know a lot about the benefits of e-ink. Just put the refresh button on the remote so I don't have to reach over to get it every single time. I can see the benefits, and I know the benefits of having this e-ink panel for those kind of focused moments of reading. You know, when I want to read something on my desk, wow, what a benefit that would be. When I want to edit a longer document, that would be a really benefit as well. But I will need to go into either the web mode or the video mode, one of the faster modes, to actually enjoy editing on this thing. It does have other inputs, and I've been using it with my Samsung phone, and you can USB-C into that, or you can USB-C a laptop into that. You can't power it by USB-C, it needs to have the 12-volt adapter that came with it for power. It is a nicely made thing. It is really light, the actual screen part of it, and it clicks in just nicely into the stand, so that's a nicely designed thing. It also has this nice vertical mode, quick and easy to change into that, with its own accelerometer, so it knows which orientation it is, and it communicates to the computer. There we are. And tells it which mode to be in, and that looks great. You know, that looks, there's no complaints there. That looks fabulous. Maybe tilt it a bit for more comfortable viewing. Just get that out of my eye line a bit. Yeah, I mean, that's brilliant. I can put a document up there that I need to read from, but you can just see the speed that you're going. If you have to use a mouse for anything, the speed that you go just slows you right down, and that's frustrating. So at the very least, it can't be your one and done monitor yet, I think. And I think that's probably a reason to go for the, if you are interested in this, to go for the monitor itself rather than the all-in-one PC. Because in any case, you are going to need to hook up an IPS monitor as a secondary screen for it if it is your all-in-one PC, because there's some things that are going to be painfully slow on it. The jury is still out, of course, on it for now. I'm going to use it for a little while, and then I will let you know.